everyone. Welcome to week 7 of the MOOC on Gender and the Media. This is unit 21 of the 8th module of this particular MOOC course. And the name of this module is Women in Media, Representation in the Industry. In this particular unit, we shall try to understand women and leadership in media, the challenges, the opportunities, and a global and national perspective, as well as the gender power relations in media industry and other case studies. Gone are the days when women used to be confined within the four walls of the house, taking care of the children and family. But as time went on, the scenario has drastically changed, with more active participation by women in different walks of life. In fact, women have come to occupy high-profile positions in different media organizations, writing and editing books, journals, newspapers, magazines. Now, as far as news coverage is concerned, there have been reports of women reporting from war zones and fighting against crime. And most of them are even engaged as publishers, advertising managers, public relations officers, editors, sub-editors, marketing managers, and so on and so forth. New media is one such area which boasts of a huge number of women occupying different positions, different fields like bloggers, content creators, and directors. Even though a lot of time has elapsed since the waves of feminist movements took shape, yet women's presence, leadership, and influence, it remains a work in progress. Now, we have already talked about, or rather discussed, the different concepts of media in the second module of this particular MOOC course. Basically, the different types of media, the different forms of media, the importance of communication in media, and so on and so forth. Now, when we talk about the term media, what do we exactly mean by it? People use the word media to refer to news in print and online, articles in magazines, shows on commercial and public radio, and television and commercial films and other documentaries. From one type podcast to internet startups, women are writing, they're creating content and forming new business models online. Women and men are heavy users of different websites and blogs, which they communicate differently online. And many studies have been done in the past couple of years. And in those studies, it has been found that women are also behind large entrepreneurial endeavors online, like the Huffington Post, that has been co-founded by author and columnist Arianna Huffington, and other such different endeavors. Online business models are continually evolving, and they hold promise for women on non-traditional paths or for those who come in and out of the workforce because of absences created by childbearing. Now, women in leadership roles in the media scenario have made significant strides over the years, yet there are different challenges that still persist. Women writers, photographers, war correspondents, and sports writers, they all have struggled to get on equal footing for different assignments. Now, as far as India is concerned, women in India's media industry have made remarkable progress. But the fact remains that leadership roles remain a male-dominated area. Now, as far as the representation of women in the field of journalism in India is concerned, India has seen a rise in women editors, anchors, and investigative journalists leading major media houses. We have Barkha Dutt, who was a former NDTV journalist and the founder of Mojo Story. She is known for fearless and bold reporting. Then we have Rana Ayub. She is an investigative journalist who has exposed major political and social issues. Then we have Shobana Bhartiya. She is the chairperson of Hindustan Times Group, which is one of India's largest media houses. We also have Fai D'Souza. who is a former Mirror Now anchor who disrupted male-dominated primetime debates. Even in the field of broadcast and digital media, we have a very well-known names like Nidhi Razdan, who is a former NDTV anchor. She is known for political reporting. We have Sagarika Ghosh, who is a senior journalist and author advocating for gender-sensitive journalism. Then there are also the rise of different women-led digital platforms. Like we have She the People, there is News Laundry, and these digital platforms have provided more space for independent female voices. Now, if you look into the area of film and entertainment media, the Indian film industry, which includes the Bollywood, regional cinema, has historically been male dominated. Of late, women are now taking leadership roles. We have seen Zoya Akhtar, we have seen Gauri Shinde, there is Meghna Gulzar. Now, these are the leading directors who have created very impactful cinema. Then, as far as television is concerned, we have Ekta Kapoor. She is a media mogul who has revolutionized Indian television and the OTT content. In the field of advertising and corporate media also, women have been heading major advertising agencies and media corporations. We have Priti Nair, we have Josie Paul, we have Tanya Dubash. They're key figures. And more brands, they're focusing on gender-sensitive storytelling advertisements. Now, women in India's media industry, definitely they have made remarkable progress. The leadership roles, it remains male-dominated. Now, despite different challenges which we have, like there is gender biasness, there is disparity in payment, there is workplace harassment. In spite of these challenges, women have emerged or they have managed to emerge as influential leaders in the field of journalism, in television, in film, and in other digital media platforms. And the media landscape, which is traditionally controlled by men, is gradually evolving with women stepping into key leadership positions, breaking the barriers and driving changes. Now, when we talk about the challenges and barriers, what are the common barriers that we usually see? First is a gender bias. Women often face inherent biases that limits their career growth and opportunities for leadership positions. And even when they break through the top roles, they frequently encounter skepticism about their capabilities. They are being questioned whether that particular woman will be able to lead the particular company or not. Then there is pay disparity. Now, gender pay gaps, it remains a reality in media, with women often earning less than their male counterparts, despite similar or even superior qualification and expertise. Then, at the workplace also, in most cases, women are subjected to harassment. The media industry, like many others, has witnessed instances of harassment and discrimination, making it difficult for women to thrive without facing additional personal and professional obstacles. So to continue progressing, what we need to look into is that the media industry in India must actively dismantle these barriers and ensure that women have equal opportunities for advancement. Increased representation of women in leadership roles can help challenge outdated stereotypes and encourage more inclusive storytelling. And empowering women journalists, filmmakers, producers, and executives will not only change the media industry, but will contribute to greater social and cultural change across the nation. Now, these are some of the challenges that are usually seen. Now, what are the opportunities and other future trends? There are certain independent women-led platforms are there, like She the People, The Lady's Finger, and Feminism in India. And these platforms are amplifying the female voices. And more women are starting different YouTube channels, different podcasts, and other OTT content platforms, bypassing the traditional male-dominated media. And digital media also serves as an equalizer. Social media has allowed women to create and lead alternative narratives, outside the mainstream media. We have influencers like RJ Malishka, there is Kusha Kapila, and Dolly Singh. These ladies are shaping the media trends with the unique voices. And even other media organizations, they're introducing the gender policies or other mentorship programs and leadership training for women. So these are some of the policy industry changes that we are witnessing in the last couple of years. Then if we look at other OTT platforms, the other streaming platforms like Netflix, there is Amazon Prime, there is Hotstar. And these platforms, they have been producing more woman-centric content that has been driven by female creators. So overall, we have seen that women in Indian media sector, more specifically Indian context, they have made significant strides, but still continue to face some kind of maybe systemic challenges in leadership roles. And with the rise of digital media, policy changes, and women-driven content, the landscape is gradually shifting towards greater gender inclusivity. Now, if we look at the progress and achievements, women have been breaking different barriers. Women have increasingly taken on leadership roles in journalism, in broadcasting, in advertising, and in digital media. Then, as far as representation is concerned, more and more women in decision-making positions have led to greater diversity in storytelling, shedding light on underrepresented perspectives and issues. And with the rise of the different digital media, as well as other independent media platforms, that has enabled more women to become media entrepreneurs, bypassing the traditional gatekeepers. So far we have seen how women have been occupying the different positions in the field of journalism, in the field of advertisement, in the field of public relations, in the field of broadcast media, in the field of online media, and so on and so forth. Challenges remain, no doubt. But with the passage of time, with more representation of women in these different fields will ensure better productivity in the long run. While women, they still face systemic challenges in media, new opportunities, especially in digital media and advocacy, they're paving the way for greater representation and leadership. Now, let us come to the notion of gender power relations. Gender power relations in the media industry. What do we mean by gender power dynamics? The media industry reflects broader gender power dynamics where men traditionally holds more leadership roles. They shape the narratives and they control the decision-making power. However, growing advocacy for gender equality is challenging these structures at both the global and national levels. Now, globally, if you look at the global perspectives on gender power relations in media, what do we see? Now, as we have already talked about, gender power relations in media refers to the way media platforms portray and reinforce societal power dynamics between genders, often depicting men as having more authority and agency than women, which can perpetuate gender stereotypes and inequalities through the content they produce, including news, advertising, and entertainment. Now, as far as gender disparities in leadership is concerned, women are underrepresented in top executive roles in major, global media organizations. There was a study done in 2023 by the International Women's Media Foundation. And in that study, they found that women make up less than 30% of media executives worldwide. Then, as far as the control over content and narratives is concerned, the male-dominated leadership influences how gender is portrayed in media. Then, as far as the gender pay gap is concerned, across the media industry, even women earn significantly very less in comparison to the male counterparts. So, definitely change is there. We have had numerous examples. We have seen how women leaders have cut across the glass ceiling and have made a mark for themselves. Now, if we look at the whole perspective, while global trends highlight the persistent gender inequalities, the national context, it shapes how gender power relations play out in different countries. If we look at the United States, it's a developed country. It has made a lot of strides, and it has made a lot of development in different field of life. So despite the progress, women remain underrepresented in executive media roles. Then as far as Europe is concerned, there are many countries like Sweden, Norway, and Germany. These countries, they have very strong gender equality policies, resulting in higher female representation in media leadership. However, in Southern and Eastern Europe, gender disparities in media remain significant, with less female leadership in newsrooms. Then, as far as Asia is concerned, in countries like India and China, women are visible in media, but rarely they reach the top leadership positions. Even the Indian and the Chinese film industries, they have been criticized for gender pay gaps and for lack of women in directing roles. Then there are other female journalists in countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan who face high risk of violence and censorship. In Africa, women in media often face cultural and institutional barriers to leadership. But within Africa also, in South Africa, we have actually seen growing female representation in news and entertainment media. In Africa, there is we have female-led media initiatives like the African Women Journalism Project. They have been doing commendable job and they're helping the bridging the gap. In Latin America, investigative female journalists in countries like Mexico and Brazil, they face very high risk, including threats and violence. However, independent female-led media outlets, they're challenging the traditional power structures. So what are the strategies that you can look into? What strategies can be implemented for gender equality in media? First is policy changes. Governments and media organizations must enforce gender quotas in leadership roles. There should be stronger equal pay laws and workplace harassment protections are needed. Then as far as advocacy and representation is concerned, women need greater representation in decision-making roles, including editorial boards and film studios. And more female-focused media networks should be created in order to amplify the women's voices. Then the third important strategy or step that they can take up is the mentorship and leadership training. There should be programs that support young women in media, which can actually help in creating future leaders. Well-known and other established female media professionals must advocate for mentorship and sponsorship of women in the industry. So, gender power relations in the media industry remains skewed in favor of men, but progress is being made. While challenges like pay gaps, underrepresentation and workplace harassment, it persists. Digital media, activism, and policy changes, they're opening up doors for more women in leadership roles. And women are the key players in the evolving media world. They're always at the forefront of creating content. They also work in management and leadership positions, in publishing, and in different other fields. But what the future holds is a promise of new creations and an entrepreneurial development spurred in part by the economy. And the work environment continues to evolve because of efforts by women and organizations advocating for and changing the way employers handle pregnancy, childcare, and an ongoing seat at the table as women move in and out of the workplace and home. Women are more accepted in jobs across all disciplines than they were a generation of age. So, in this particular unit, we have seen how things have changed for the better, how women have come to occupy different positions as far as leadership is concerned. And so far in this unit, we have tried to understand, we try to analyze the entire concept of women and media leadership. So we have tried to introspect into the importance of women and leadership in media. We have tried to analyze the different challenges and opportunities that we usually see as far as the representation of women is concerned in different leadership roles, within the media scenario, the different global and national perspectives, and also the gender power relations in the media industry. So with this, we have come towards the end of this unit. Thank you.